And my camera's not working. Okay, well, we're live, and my camera went away, so I'll fix that in just a second. But anyways, welcome to Top Deck Monthly Cup Week 3 Semifinals. We got 4 players left. Today we're going to watch Jonas, Wilson, and Alex White go head-to-head. We've already had both of them on for featured matches. And joining me today is Abram, a.k.a. the Big Boy. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good, other than just totally botching the stream here.
Invisible.
And now it says Abram Jop where I am. Yeah, we're going to fix this real quick. So, yeah, so you don't have a camera, so you've got the imp icon. That's your...
Yeah, that's good enough.
All right, do you got anything you want to say about this matchup here?
Yeah, just looking at the decks, there's just a couple weird choices. Do you know which side they're playing first? We can talk about.
It looks like Jonas is going to be running first.
Okay, so it's going to be Nexus Kate against CTM. The CTM's like pretty normal. There's only one exchange, which I like. There's a Cobra, which probably won't do anything against Nexus Kate. The Nexus deck has an artist colony and no fan sites, so that's probably just for
Nexus, right?
like forfeiting GFI, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess if you absolutely like have to get your Nexus, maybe I don't know.
Gotta get something.
Yeah.
I guess you can like get Claude. I don't know.
Yeah, to stop you from losing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'm going to... Man, I'm doing a terrible job of...
Oh, it can get you your Plascrete if you're gonna die.
Oh, so yeah, that's a good point.
There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the other choices are on the other. When we do the flip, we'll talk about those later. But that's pretty much it. They're like, it's just normal Nexus Kate and CTM.
Yeah. All right. Did I just ruin that? I did. Oh man. This is what happens when you try to stream on the fly. All right, well, let's go ahead and let's take a look at the brackets real quick. All right, so we've only got 4 players left. We were going to try to do a double feature tonight, but it didn't work out. So Noah and David are going to play sometime this week. But after that, we'll have a final matchup for next week. Right, let's get these guys to go ahead and load this game up. Alright, so looks like we got some starting hands.
Oh, this is like CTM Dream Hand.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead and get that bankers going, turn 1. Alright, so they both keep. Looks like they both got pretty good starting hands.
Yeah.
With Parisia, Kate, which might come in handy.
I don't know what you do with this. Maybe you just want both this ice for your remote.
Possibly, yeah. feel like
There's some choices here. You can gamble and like get your Magnum. Yeah, that's what he's gonna do. But you also could like play Parisia and try to start killing things and try to slow through that.
Well, I got a feeling he's gonna want to take care of that bankers at least.
What did he just draw and put in the remote? I missed that.
That went pretty quick. I'm gonna tell him to slow down a little bit. Yeah, I didn't see what he drew.
So he gets the Magnum out for 6. I don't know. You probably want to take out these bankers, right? It's hard, but I think you just do it. And if you float a tag, you float a tag. Who cares, right?
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the game, you float a tag's not as scary.
You gotta kill this thing.
Yeah, I think you do. I think it just makes way too much money.
Yeah, that's why you have the Parisia, right? Like,
yeah,
just float. Who cares? Or just pay 3. Pay 3 is like way better if he doesn't boost the trace.
Yeah.
Because when you have Magnum, a tag shake is worth 4 credits.
Right.
So he should pay 3 here, unless he's gonna thinks he's gonna take a bunch of tags and then get rid of them all later.
Right.
But if you were gonna shake next turn, you should. Oh no, he paid too much. Oh, there we go. He fixed it.
Huh, forgot about the Kate Link.
Yeah, we're drawing a bunch. Yeah, this is what you got to do. You just kill this stuff.
Yeah. So in server 3, it's a sand city grid.
Okay. Yeah, the reason you want to take this, a lot of people feel like they don't want to take this stuff out until they get a bunch of money, right? They don't get hit by hard-hitting news. But really, it's gonna cost you the same amount no matter when you get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
But if you wait longer, then they'll get more money off of it. So it can feel like you're treading water and not getting anywhere, but you really are. Notice to keep presenting threats, Alex has to keep drawing cards and discarding useful cards, right?
Right.
Because he can't afford to just do nothing and let you take 8.
It seems like Alex could try to score this food. I mean, this early in the game, he could,
Yeah.
could probably get it scored with a gear check.
He has Enigma on there?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it seems great. It's like taking it kind of slow.
Yeah.
HQ Ice, I don't know about this. I think I guess there's the Vamp, but
Sure.
I would probably just put Ice there once I cared about Vamp, which is not now.
Yeah, well, if Alex watched Jonas's previous game, yeah, he would see that he was running a Vamp, but I guess it's pretty common anyway.
Maybe he put the Ice there now because he wants to put the food down next turn, and that's going to take his whole turn.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you don't want to install Advance and then get vamped.
Right. Not getting a Sensi trigger yet is pretty bad.
Well, if he does install Advance the food on his turn, we see that Jonas has the zoo in hand, but he'll likely face check it first and then lose a click.
Yeah, but then he can play the zoo and run again.
Yeah, if he runs first click, yeah.
And then he'll get 4 tags.
Yeah.
And then he'll have stolen a food, which you don't really like. You don't mind that much.
Yeah, it kind of seems like a pretty low risk play for
you get this is great. You get your money back too, because once you have clickless econ going, he's just gonna, what's he doing with this? He's just gonna close his accounts. That's pretty good.
Okay, well he just drew into that right now, so I think that seems
so now
as well.
This gets even easier because now you only need to advance the food once. But yeah, once you have the clickless econ going, you want to just occupy their time. Like, he has a Parisia, he has a good way to kill this pad, but if you keep giving him things to do, you'll get more money off of it. Are these Underworld contacts good?
Yeah, it's debatable. To me, like, they just seem kind of low impact. Like, if you get them, like, if you get them, I don't know. If you get them early, you can't play them. If you get them late, they're just kind of like not useful. So, and I mean, you already have you have Magnum Opus anyways. Like,
Yeah.
Like, why? Like.
It's like drawing a lot of cards. I wonder what he's drawing for.
Yeah, well, another thing is like, okay, so he finally puts the food in there. The other thing I was thinking is that if he goes to score the food first instead of the breaking news, then he's got the breaking news in hand if he wants to try to swap it.
Yeah, I think what he did was probably better. The closed accounts.
Yeah.
But if he hadn't drawn the breaking news, he should have gone for the food. But he drew into a better play.
Mm-hmm.
This seems like a smashing.
Yeah, I mean, it's going pretty good now. We got 4-0. The problem is that once Jonas gets set up,
this game's over in a couple turns. Though.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he's got the Beal in hand that he's.
Once he's at 6, the game's basically over.
Well, I mean, he's got a clot in his bin, right? Yeah. So
yes.
He definitely needs. He's probably going to install that clone chip, I would imagine. I'm sure he's thinking he probably really wants to get Beth down, but yeah, there's a clone chip. Yeah, these like Underworld contacts are just kind of taking up space in his hand.
Yeah, they don't really solve a problem that your deck has, right?
Which, yeah, I guess money is not going to be the problem. It's probably speed, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really. Oh, the clot exchange. Mm. I don't know. I think you just make him pull a clot here. He has no free MU. You don't. Just put it down.
Yeah, and he's not. I mean, and it's not like the server's going to be super easy for him to get through.
No. And he doesn't have Link yet, so this Zoo still takes MU.
Yeah, good point.
You can't clot this. There's no way you can break that. He would have to think that it's like Raven Resistor or something.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to clot if you can't go in and get the agenda anyways.
And he has to trash his Parisia if he gets the clot.
Yeah, that's the problem with Magnum Opus sometimes is you can run in.
So the way that Jonas wins here is he just gets into R&D like every turn and doesn't let him draw any more agendas.
Right.
That's the only way. And I think when he was drawing cards and installing RDIs instead of like clicking his Magnum, he kind of like committed to that plan.
Right. Well, he decided to go ahead and install the clot and get rid of the Parisia.
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be pretty sad if Alex just scores it
So
anyways.
maybe he's doing this so that he can force a res on the remote ice, so that he can like hit R&D.
Sure, get him low on credits that way.
If the remote ice is toll booth, and then he goes down to 2, then you can like maybe hit R&D a bunch, because the only thing he can res is resistor, which you can break.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Alex, the Sansan doesn't help the Beal extra point. He can't just advance 3 times.
Then he would win.
Yeah. Can you imagine if that's how it was from the beginning? MBN would be even more broken.
Yeah, really.
Alright, so it looks like Jonas is thinking pretty hard about what he wants to do with these 4 clips.
I can't imagine you clot without like having any plan to then run it. Maybe he's thinking about like playing Zoo, trashing the clot, taking 2 or 4, and then running.
Yeah, I mean, if he's got a barrier and a code gate breaker, he's pretty sure that...
Yeah, he's going to play Zoo. Now the question is, do you take 2 or 4? Like, if you take 2, you can still break toll booth, right? And you want to have a click so that if it's Raven...
That's a little annoying.
Oh, this is like super sick. Okay, so he's going to get the steal, then he's going to dump the tag, and then he's going to get 4 tags.
Yeah. Do you think we'll get a swap on the breaking news for the Beal?
Oh, maybe.
Put him on 5, so he can win with a...
I don't think there's any reason to do that like right away. Oh, he trashed the Sansan. That kind of makes sense because now you can get into that remote for 3 credits.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty good. Because you're not going to be able to clot again for a long time because you don't want to trash any of this stuff.
Yeah. So do you think he's just going to float tags at this point? Or is
he's just going to have tags for a while.
Yeah.
He might get rid of them eventually. Like, oh man, that sick trash. It's so good. It would have been scored. Oh, that's gross.
I always feel like when you're playing against CTM, the moment that you decide that you're just going to float tags and you're never going to shake them is the moment where you just don't ever win that game.
Usually, it's hard.
Or you get lucky on like a medium, like a medium dig or something like that. It's like you're only...
The thing is, when they get to the point where you've like blown up their board, but you have a bunch of tags, and they just like start turtling, you want to like start getting rid of your tags. Even if you have a ton of them, especially when you have Magnum.
Okay, so Alex decided to go ahead and use the hard-hitting news, even though he was already tagged.
Well, this does make it so that resistor costs actual money to break with Lady.
Sure.
But he has rabbit holes, so he doesn't care.
So there we go. Now it's free.
Yeah. What's he trying for? Psycho would be good, I guess.
Yeah. And it looks like he's got 1.
We're doing some fuzzy math here.
It's stream math. You're not ever supposed to do math on stream, so that makes playing Netrunner kind of hard. I didn't see. Did he discard the food, I guess?
Yeah, he did. Okay. I think he put Sansan in the remote and discarded the food.
Okay, that makes sense.
You gotta like start running R&D at some point here.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised he hasn't
That's your plan.
gone for that. I mean, he's got 2 RDIs down, and I don't think he's hardly ran it.
Well, he also could take 6, run the remote, and trash the Sansan, and just go for like a big remote lock.
Yeah.
Because then that's both the Sansans in the trash, and then so now he can't do it, I think. So yeah, I don't know. Like if I was Jonas, I think your 2 lines to victory are don't let him draw another agenda, which is tough because he just drew a ton of cards, and so you would want to like run HQ2, or this remote is only like 3 credits if you run last click.
What?
So you could just like go in there every turn, and then either take 8 or like take 6 and remove a tag every other turn. Because if you can clear out that remote a bunch, like he only has 1 Sansan left, one of them still in the trash, and then you can get rid of your tags, then he can't score.
Why do you think he opted to bring the food back instead of letting Jonas have it so that he could just swap it?
Because he doesn't have another breaking news, I guess.
Okay.
Like he could already EOI for this Beal, and that's like the same because he has 2 pointers in his hand. If he had a breaking news in his hand, then that like would be pretty reasonable. All right, we're gonna run this.
I think I'm short-sighted. I probably would have just went for the swap.
I think swapping for the Beal is fine. You'll probably have to do it eventually.
Yeah.
I think letting this remote go is like a little bit. It's not sloppy, but I think he, like we did, saw R&D as his only line to winning. But there's kind of, because this remote is like so bad, there's this kind of, and he has Magnum. There's a secondary line where he just like locks down this remote really hard.
Yeah, because I mean, he can't score. He can't score without the remote.
But now he can score this Astro, right? And then he basically wins.
Yeah, because then he's got the swap.
Like the thing, he trashed that other Sansan, right? And like went to 0.
Oh wait, we got an Ars colony for a clone chip.
Sick. Oh, and now he can't EOI either. That's funny.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that keeps the game going at least. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Because he has the MU now because he got the link.
Well, I wouldn't say he's totally out of it. I mean, he could still get into
it. That was great.
Yeah.
Because now if he takes 6 and then runs that, now he can steal and get rid of the Sansan. Oh, he wanted to install another. Oh, he wants to install another one in case it's a CVS.
Okay. Yeah.
I think. And he did it before he ran because he wants to run last click to save a credit. Getting in with 5.
Yeah, Alex could have. He could have installed over that turnpike. That's not really doing much for him at this point.
Oh, he's got Psycho. Oh, he wins. Oh no, there's clots, so he doesn't win. Wow, what a tragedy.
Shaper.
He's just gonna purge.
Shaper's still a thing.
Huh. Yeah, but he has enough money now that if he puts the Beal down, he can put the toll booth on top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely feel like this is a kind of matchup that the longer the game goes, it goes more into the runner's favor.
Yeah, this was not great. I don't know, if you were already going tag me, then maybe this pad should be dead.
Sure.
He didn't like really have time.
I mean, this pad's MVP. It's probably made like what?
It always is, right? And
Yeah.
he trashed that first one, knowing that when you don't, you always regret it later.
Yeah.
And then to take this one out, even when he still had the Parisia.
So I imagine Jonas right now is just trying to figure out what his best line is.
Yeah.
I mean, he can't pay through that toll booth over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he tries to take care of that pad and get a vamp off.
Oh, he removed a tag.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
Maybe he's trying to get below 5 tags, get down to 4, so that there's no 3-point Psycho Beal.
Yeah. Well, you gotta... Man, this is tough. I don't know about this R&D toll booth res.
Yeah, brought it too low.
Man, put Beal in there, and then he pulls Clot, and then you put the toll booth on top. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, somebody pointed out in chat that Jonas, I think, saw the Psycho on R&D, so that's why he's trying to get down to 4 tags.
Yeah. Yeah, you do, like, now that the R&D plan is looking way less good, you do want to get rid of these tags.
Mm-hmm.
And he even, somebody pointed out he paid 1 credit on the Turnpike trace rather than taking a 7th tag. Which indicated that he wanted to clear them.
Sure. Yeah, a lot of people pointing out that Alex is letting that artist colony live, which might not be the best thing.
Well, he's out of clone chips now, right? Yeah, there's 3 in the trash.
That's a good point. I'm trying to pull this up, but it's laggy. Yeah, 3 clones in the bin. So, do we have a levy?
No. And he wouldn't have time to play that and
Yeah.
into more ships. So now Alex is going to purge.
I don't think that the game will go long enough for this to matter, but he could artist colony the Nexus so that he can start hitting R&D and
that
down.
I mean, that's the thing. If he thinks that he doesn't have an agenda in his hand.
Yeah. which unfortunately he does.
Mm-hmm. You can also like run HQ. He hasn't done it at all.
I don't think any runs on HQ so far.
If he purges, that's not a terrible thing to do.
The chat is asking about SatCon. There is no SatCon in Jonas's deck, so that's not an option.
Oh, he might forfeit the GFI here.
You can't AC for a card you don't have.
You can't Artist Colony from your binder.
Wouldn't that be great?
Sweet. Hey, a lot of fringe cards would see play.
Yeah, Damon, if you're watching, print that card. It's kind of like it's
got another interface. So he like thinks that he doesn't have one in hand, or maybe he's gonna like run HQ a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Because now he purges. Now what do you do? Because you're not gonna win on R&D.
Yeah, he's got to at least put make a few stabs at HQ and hope to hit anything.
I mean, unless you think he doesn't have one, and then you just take 8. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, well, there's no reason to think that he wouldn't have one.
So he's not going to res it.
Yeah. I mean, there's really no reason why he wouldn't have a gen in his hand. I mean,
yeah.
He hasn't been able to score, so.
You knew he had the Psycho. If you ran, then you're probably going to run again.
Mm-hmm. All right, so he's got a couple shots at this, or it's going to be... We're going to get a Beal. We're going to get a Beal for the win.
It's that sick NBN endgame.
Well, at least, yeah, he's playing it right. It looks like he's going to go HQ 4 times.
Yep. Oh, now it looks like really... He might not go again now that he's seen 3 different cards, yeah.
Yeah.
Good game.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that's right.
I mean, the other turn he could have done... Oh, no, but he got the RDI. Before he forfeited that food, I thought he might, remove 3 tags.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all out of clones.
Yeah. I guess he could have cleared a tag.
Yeah, but he'd have to clear 2 tags, because you can advance also.
Oh, right. They could just advance on Psycho. Good point.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that was a good one.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to go to game 2. We've got Alex is playing Wizard. And Jonas...
and also, even with 3 tags, you can install Psycho the Beal and then exchange the News for the Astro. And that gets you 7 points, too.
Yeah, so there was a lot of ways you could have... Yep, so getting rid of tags there wasn't
yeah, only if you can get rid of almost all of them.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to get the... All right, so we have ETF versus Wiz.
Yeah, so the Wiz deck has a Rumor Mill in it. And 1 Deja Vu, so you could potentially Rumor Mill twice.
Mm-hmm.
And the HV deck has an ELP antibiotic to clear that.
It seems like ELP is definitely making a comeback in the Food Coast style deck.
In the Wiz deck, he only has 2 Dirty Laundries. And he has 2 Liberateds, which makes me feel like he thought he was going to face HV and not CTM. Because you would probably have the other one. You would have 3 Laundries and 1 Liberated.
Sure.
And he was right.
Okay, so Alex mulligans and gets the 1-off River Mill.
This is horrible. this Wiz hand.
Yeah.
This had better be the sweetest inject you've ever seen. Any Anarch hand with Grimoire in the opening hand looks so bad.
Yeah, it's sad. It's so sad.
It's so sad. Okay, that was okay. Oh, we can't see the peddler cards, can we?
No.
That's really annoying.
Yeah.
But he injected and hit 2 programs, but then didn't hit Liberated to play.
Yep. None of the programs were paperclip.
Yeah. Oh man, he didn't read Kenny's article. Look at this R&D run. What a joke. No respect.
What was Kenny's article?
Yeah, about how you should run HQ in this exact situation.
Okay. Yeah.
At least that was part of it.
I haven't read the article, but I would think because if they don't have enough ice to protect one of their then they're probably flooded or something like that. Is that the logic?
It's that HQ and R&D when the game starts have the same agenda density, right?
Okay.
But then once they play cards from HQ that aren't agendas, on average the agenda density of HQ will be higher.
Okay. That makes sense.
So unless the only case for running R&D makes more sense there is if he thinks that
he put an agenda in the remote.
Was an agenda.
Yeah.
In which case he probably would have just ran that click 1 if he thought that.
Yeah.
But he's got the sick Peddler Temujin here. So he went from a horrible opening hand to 20 credits.
Yeah, and he's got the one. I think getting the one of Rumor Mill is going to be good too, so he can he can contest that remote.
He built that Adonis. Oh, here comes the fire. He's only got 2 ice. Boom. Oh boy. Double wall of static.
I mean, beggars can't be choosers, right?
No, it's great ice against this because you don't want to install your paperclip in this matchup for a really long time,
right?
Because it doesn't help you deal with any of the ice that's actually scary.
I always feel like when I play Anarch, I never want to install paperclip ever.
He look at this. He discarded Grimoire instead of paperclip out of respect for the arc lockdown.
Huh. Well,
or maybe he just wants to keep it hidden. Maybe he doesn't want to know that he has it.
Well, look, Jonas is not. He's not the kind of deck builder that plays it safe and solves. He likes to splash a couple interesting cards in his deck, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of draw spam here. Okay, now you can discard one of these paperclips, right? Yeah, there you go. Oh, he discards daily casts. So, daily cast is worth 5 credits, right? And it's really early in the game. And so he would rather draw a card than get 5 credits right now. Which means he really wants things really badly. He's probably looking for his Doom setup. Oh, this is good.
All right, so he takes care of the Adonis. That's gonna help.
Yeah.
We got a Breaker Bay and an Eve in Jonas's hand though, so. But he's still got a lot of those suckers, so the Fairchild's not going to be too big of a deal.
Yeah. I think maybe he wants to get this Eve going, and then he can put something on Archives and then Purge to turn his ice back on.
Yeah.
Oh man, he rumor milled over over
Okay.
the ELP.
Well, yeah, it seems like maybe he's thinking that Jonas is trying to score.
Yep. But he still gets to trash this if he wants. He's just gonna trash the breaker bay. He doesn't want to pay 2 credits.
Maybe because he's got another. Well, I don't know.
You could archive mem your ELP and take out the rumor mill.
So do you think you want to install over that Temujin on archives and get some money?
Maybe. Well, he does. Yeah, he'll go to 4. It feels so bad.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I was thinking. Maybe that's why he didn't trash the Eve. Maybe because he wants to get that other Temujin up.
Yeah. But man, that makes this. If you get the ELP back, makes that even better. Because then he gets 4 less, and his Deja is in the trash, so he can't get back this rumor mill.
Eli's. We were talking about this pregame. The
Yeah.
Eli's. It seems hard to play them right now because you got to pay the influence, and yeah, as we were saying, they don't tax paperclip any more than Bastion does.
Yeah, it costs 1 less.
Yeah.
And it's better against some other things. Oh, it's the beta test.
Do you think we'll get this used at some point?
What, you just put this CVS out, right? And then he trashes it, and then you get him. There's nothing good to trash, though.
No, you want like a loaded Temujin or something like that.
Well, he discarded 1 Grimoire, right? If you can nuke his other Grimoire, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, or maybe Ice Carver, because if he gets that out,
Yeah.
because that'll help with Fairchild 3.
Mm-hmm. Well, now that he has the CVS, he doesn't have to ice archives. So that's good.
Is he on it? Okay, so he's got 1 NRE.
Mm-hmm.
So he can potentially, if he gets the NRE and the Ice Carver up, then he's only got to spend 1 sucker to break Fairchild 3.
No, if he gets them both up, then he doesn't need any suckers.
Oh, so 0. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this matchup's funny because, like, your ice is like super, super good, and then they install 1 card and it all does nothing.
Yeah, it seems like if they can get the Ice Carver and the Net Ready up, it gets real annoying super
Then-
fast.
Yeah, then you're done.
Well, for all we know, he's got it sitting on his peddler and he's just waiting for a good time to use it.
And he, I think I remember from the list, he only has 2 Ichis also.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like one of the ice that makes them still pay reasonable money after they have that set up. Oh, and I guess Eli is better against the Ice Carver setup than Bastion. Because I guess they don't need their suckers anymore for Yogg. They'll just burn it all on your Bastion and break for 1.
Mm-hmm.
Huh, so he put the sales team in the remote, right?
Yep.
And he's gonna like biotic it? Or is he just putting it there just
Yeah.
for return?
I think you're right. I think that's what his plan is. I don't know. It doesn't seem terrible. Get some money going.
Yeah, that's what he's gonna do. This gets rid of the rumor mill too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Which he could have done with archive memories, but now he can use that on something else maybe.
So Alex draw 2 cards. That tells me he's obviously looking for something.
He's looking for NRE.
Yeah, because he's got David in his hand, and he's not looking for David.
Oh, you can break this. I don't know about this res. That's like more than half of your money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money to spend on a piece of ice. It's not
one sucker counter.
Do anything. Yeah.
Which you could like purge at any time. Oh, he could. Yeah, he could have purged there with his CVS, right?
Oh yeah.
He would go like really low money, but then he could either do a brain or end the run and make Alex pay 6.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so chat suggesting maybe he's drawing for medium.
Yeah. You don't need medium to win, though, right? Like, once you get NRE, the game's... Well, I guess he lost his rumor mill, so he could still lose to Caprice. But if you have, like, NRE, Carver, rumor mill, it's over. Like, you don't need to run a central ever. Because they'll never score.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm ETF in this matchup and I see Wiz getting towards the bottom of the deck, I kind of feel bad. Like I feel like I'm in a bad spot.
Yeah, but he's scored every agenda that he's seen, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like he could have, and he drew a lot of cards. It's not like he could have gone faster.
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, R&D is ripe. All right, so probably trying to bait a run on the remote here.
Yep, this is Ravana, right?
I think so.
So that'll probably get clicked twice. Because he only has one sucker.
Mm-hmm.
This Ice Carver also makes these wall of statics 1 credit. Oh, he's gonna purge him here.
So he has to hit the yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So now he'll just pay 6. And now it's kind of hard to get sucker counters again until he gets the NRE.
Yeah, the CVS is in archive, so he can't go there.
I mean, he can get into HQ for 2 credits. Yeah, it's not that hard.
I mean, at most he needs 1, right? Like.
Yeah, and then once he has 1, he's like back into R&D forever.
Mm-hmm.
What are you drawing for here?
I don't know, but now his R&D is just getting.
That feels like panic draw.
He
Unless he like wants to draw an agenda to put it in the remote right now.
He's up to almost 50% R&D density.
Oh, he went and got his biotic. So he's recognized that this remote is like pretty dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, I think he was probably trying to get at an agenda, and doing so now his R&D is just it's kind of a nightmare.
Well, there's one. You can put that in the remote. What are you drawing for?
Well, he still hasn't seen his caprice, so maybe
That's what he wants.
trying to get at that.
I hate like looking for one-ofs. Just
trying to draw
put
one.
put down what you have.
Trying to draw one caprice when your R&D's got like a third agendas
Like
in
he's
it.
just milling himself instead of taking money.
Yeah, and you're just flooding your hand. So is he gonna score this? Is he gonna score this? Yeah, it looks like he probably will. Yeah, unfortunately, he's about to get blocked pretty hard on R&D.
He's gonna get pillaged here.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he like wanted to load up his hand with agendas so that he'd like have the points he needed to win before he got locked.
Yeah.
Oh, this is gross. Welcome to Anar. There goes your caprice. Okay, so now you can score this thing, and then maybe he'll like run HQ a ton because he's worried that you'll win with Biotic.
Yeah, is he? Yeah, he'll have enough money to have to, for that to be a fear.
Like Alex might even feel like he's winning by so much that he might run HQ 4 times. To not lose to the Biotic.
Which would let Jonas purge. Do you think Jonas is considering a purge here instead of just scoring?
I think you gotta score. You have to get to game point to make him like make tough decisions.
Right.
Well, he purged.
Yeah.
I don't get this purge.
Well, because he knows that he has the biotic labor in hand, so you're right. It puts a lot of pressure on him if he scores. Now, now he's thinking, okay, well, I have to either win on R&D or stop him from scoring.
He can just install this sucker. He didn't have to triple click here. He could have installed this other sucker. Would have got a counter.
Oh yeah.
He can run it and have more clicks.
Seems like a small misplay.
Probably, maybe it doesn't matter. Well, he's trashed a card. Beta test is live. I mean, if you got the beta test off and took out the ice cover, that'd be huge.
Yeah, the problem is Alex has got a ton of money too.
Oh man, don't you wish you had this second data sucker? Be great.
Yeah, I mean that MU's just sitting there begging for something.
No.
There we go. So that's the game. Alex wins both games.
Way to go. See, he thought there were some in hand. If you score there, maybe he just runs HQ like a ton.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to be said for getting to game point and like letting them panic and mess up.
Right. Yeah.
But that was a good game.
All right. Well, I got a suspicion Alex is gonna. He seems like he needs to get to bed, but maybe we can get Jonas on the chat with us for a little bit. All right, so they're going to come on and chat with us for a little bit.
Okay.
So those are pretty good games. I think that there was definitely there was points where the game could have gone either way in both of those.
Yeah, I think the first game especially, there were like a lot of decision points for Jonas.
I feel like especially more recently playing, I feel like all my games go a sort of similar fashion where it's like if you're playing tug of war, the rope is staying right in the center for the most of the game. It's going a little bit this way, a little bit that way, and then all of a sudden it just like avalanches in one direction.
Whenever you're playing Magnum, you always look back at the end of the game and you went, "Oh, if only I'd just spent one of these turns taking 8 instead of what I did, I would have won."
Yeah, well, there was a lot of times.
You always feel like you're a little bit behind.
Yeah,
maybe if you just like taken 8 instead of drawing cards for like one of those turns, then you would have been okay.
Yeah, I would have definitely loved to have taken 8 a little bit more in that matchup. I wasn't expecting. There's a lot of hard hitting news that I just, wasn't expecting really. So well played, Alex.
Thank you. Yeah, they were both good games actually. I was pretty scared, particularly in game 2. And game one was really odd. I was kind of tilted as soon as the game began because I thought 3 rabbit holes were just going to come down super early, just blank my ability and just make me want to die. But that didn't happen. So I'm interested to watch the game back from Jonas's perspective because you're drawing a lot of cards. So I'm just wondering, what was it that was there something with your draw that wasn't going?
I was looking for rabbit hole. I was looking for a way to get through resistors, get through turnpikes, all that sort of fun stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think I realized about a turn or two later than I should have done that the ball was in my court and I should have jammed more. So that I think that was probably a misplay because what I wanted to do was get a bit later and get a bit richer. And then once agendas start getting forfeited to Artist Colony, I think that's a good play, but I think the game is basically always going to end in my favor at that point.
Maybe. I think that if I can keep you off fast advance well enough, if I can. The problem is that I wasn't able to clear tags fast enough. I had 5-6 tags floating, and so there was the looming psychographics threat. And a turn or 2 later, if I'm able to keep those tags off, then I didn't know what you had in hand. But I ideally would be able to keep R&D fresh and kind of full of agendas and just make it so that I can get as many 3-2s and breaking newses off the board as possible.
Yeah. I think the booth on R&D was a lifesaver. It was.
That's a great play.
Two in the deck, and when the game goes super late, you desperately need them because Resistor a lot of the time doesn't do it because Annex have David, and obviously you had Rabbit Hole. So
right.
Yeah, but that was still like a good game. That's a game I'm interested to watch back. And then game 2 is kind of hard to tell. Like I think if your draw was a bit better, you probably would have been able to pull it out. But
I don't know. I don't know if it was draw based. I felt like I had a pretty good draw. I'm not very comfortable with the matchup, I guess.
No.
I mean, I hit twice off an ABT that blind fired. I mean, I had everything going for me. I just, you played it really well there.
Yeah, well, the thing that I've been saying about this Reg Wizard deck is if you draw all your breakers in reasonable time, it's kind of absurd. And like we kind of saw that there. I just do just enough of everything, right? Like that was the key. And the CVS was big though. Like I think you need CVS in food coats right now because it's so clutch against Wizard.
Yeah.
We were at the beginning, like earlier in the game, Alex, when you were Corp. You were a little shy with the food there at the beginning. We thought maybe you would try to push that through. What were you thinking in that point, and why did you hold on to it?
So, when do you mean do you mean the first food, the food that I eventually end up scoring?
Before you drew the breaking news that you scored first, you had that food for a few turns.
I think I'd had that food for most of the game. Yeah, that's why I was saying earlier. I think I was a bit gun shy because usually with the food, I'm used to not going for it unless I'm EOIing it or something, and I was just so worried that it was going to get stolen. And then at some point when I did go to score, I looked across the board and I was like, no, this is kind of a win-win because 99% of the time he doesn't even have a way to get in. If he does, he's probably going to have to SMC and trash something. So it was just a bit of a misplay for not jamming it earlier, which I don't think I was punished too badly for because I think the actions I take over the course of those 3 or 4 turns, I can take in any order. You know what I mean? Like. Mm-hmm. Before I go to score the food, I was like drawing, gaining credits, and just messing around. I could have done that after I scored the food. So it was wrong to not go for it, but I don't think I got punished too hard for it. Yeah. But that was, if there's an obvious misplay that game, it's probably that. I'm not too sure other than that.
There was another point too where I think when you res the toll booth on R&D, right? Like the toll booth was really good, but the other line we were talking about was where you don't res that, and you put the toll booth in your hand on the remote after he clots you, and then you score out the next turn.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to get in.
Oh, that's true. With my credit totals.
I think you had like 14 or no, you had like 12 or something.
I think it was like 10 actually. I think you had like 10 or 11 or something.
Like, yeah, I'm sure there was a point where it was close, but yeah, maybe that I just completely missed the line. Like I said, it's kind of like I'll watch the game back actually. Because
it was really close. I think you would have had like exactly enough.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that's disappointing. Okay, well, I'll check that. Yeah, I'm not 100% used to playing CTM again because most this week I've been testing food coats, and I only switched back onto CTM for this thing yesterday. So I only played about 5 or 6 games. So that's the closest thing I have to an excuse for that play. If I just, I think the psychographics blinded me as well. I think if I didn't have the psychographics right, I'd probably jam stuff more. But once I see the psycho, I'm like, I'm just going to wait until there's no clock.
Yeah.
I don't know
though. There was definitely so Jonas, you were starting to clear some tags. Were you just trying to get him out of the psycho range, or?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I saw psycho on the top of the deck. I just wanted to get off of. I wanted to make sure that I had 3 tags or less, basically. I didn't want him to be able to get a 3 points to win the game out. And then I guess I just kind of desperation ran HQ because I figured that he might have something up in there in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in there.
Oh.
Yeah, it was in there. Your play, I think your plays were really good actually, because once you start clearing tags, I was like, you've seen it. Because if you go below psycho range, I have to start rethinking how I win the game. And then you started running HQ, and I was like, oh man, there's 4 1-5s. Like you had 4 1-5s. There's one bit.
If you steal that, it's looking really good.
Yeah, I think the last click, you hit the Magnum because you'd already seen. You already saw 3 cards, and you were.
Yeah, I saw 3 uniques. I figured, what are the odds? And they were 1-5.
But I do still have a beer left in the deck. So there was also a point in the game where a top deck closed accounts would have done it, because I could have closed accounts and install Psycho, which would have been a sick play.
Oh yeah, that would be
But yeah, I think if I lose the bill, it's pretty bad there. But the key is whether or not that toll booth on R&D ever becomes like a thing that can be broken. So I don't know if the game could ever have gone long enough that you can mope us over and over again, install security nexus, and then start poking R&D, because those RDIs add up fast. My deck had a lot of agendas in it. So again, I did need to start to push towards the end of the game, because at some point I felt like I could wait forever, but I don't think that's quite true.
Well, and he breaks it for 8, right? So he can get in every other turn.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, 3.
Just the hard way.
Yeah. It for an RDI dig of 4 cards when your opponent doesn't have a remote, that's actually okay. So, yeah. So close, interesting game. I think they're both good games actually.
Yeah, well, right before you guys joined up, we were describing it as like both those games. There was spots where it could have gone either way. Like just one little thing could have really changed the whole game.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's been good actually. I think most of the games I've seen in the league so far have been there's been a lot of good back and forth, and that's like the meta feels like it's in a good place. There's a lot of choice and there's a lot of close games right now. Even the CTM decks at some point it felt like CTM was just about comparing opening hands, but we've moved away from that a bit more now. Like there's a bit more counterplay back and forth, so that's good.
I think I'm trying to think of some other plays that maybe we were talking about. Alex, Jonas, when you were running, you let a pad go for quite a while. We were kind of wondering about that. If you maybe regretted leaving it go so long.
I was letting the pad go because, I mean, I don't know if that was before or after I trashed the Parisia, but I figured that
there was a moment when you had the Parisia and it was up, and then shortly after that you trashed the Parisia.
I think I was worried about what was in the remote, and I felt like I had to set up and keep digging for my rabbit hole basically. I definitely eventually, because trashing that it's going to cost 2 Parisi credits, but it's going to cost 2 real credits and clear an attack. So that's basically 3 clicks worth of tempo for me, and that's just not in a deck where I want to get set up as quickly as possible and dig for that rabbit hole. I just felt like I didn't have time.
Sure.
Yeah, that pad was actually really interesting because I spent a lot of time thinking about how bad it was going to be if you came in and trashed it, and it varied wildly. Like by the end, that pad was super valuable and kind of kept me rolling throughout the game. But there were definitely points where a trash would have been way better for me than not a trash. So and it also, some of the time with the CTM games, you don't know how long is left. You don't know if it's like 3 turns or like 10 turns. So knowing whether or not to trash the pad is super tough. Like I really, really like that card in controlling the message still. Absolutely.
And sooner or later, you're going to be able to rock those new alt art ones.
Yeah, oh man.
Your opinion is on that one.
Yeah, those are really, really nice. So I love Packham. Packham is one of my favorite cards, which just shows like how lame I am. But I just like all the numbers on it. It's just like NEH in the old days. Like almost go to draw a card every time I install one. But like all the numbers on it are just so solid. It's so weird, and it kind of speaks to the power of how strong asset spamming or multiple assets really is. There's such a weird, like average core set card can still be playable in a tier 1 deck. But that's where we are.
And then Wizard just has to screw everything up.
Yeah, but it's still okay against Wizard. Like you've got enough must trashes in your deck. I think that's part of the reason that Pad gets the pass a lot of the time is because it's not sent to the Actors Union or commercial bankers. And then if they do go and trash the commercial bankers and like deal with the tags and stuff, and they have to worry about hard hitting news, the Pad just tends to stick around. So like Pad trashes in controlling the message are very, very rare in my experience.
Yeah, I think it's the CTM. I like the design for CTM. I like how it doesn't make it to where just like Wizard can just trash every single thing that you put out and not think twice. He's got to actually make some decisions as far as taking tags and getting within hard-hitting news range.
Yeah, and it's like a cool 3-way like design thing where it's like you've got to have assets that he wants to trash, and then he's going to get tagged, so you've got to have tag punishment as well. But if you have tag punishment, you've got to have other cards that tag them. So it forces you to build a deck in an interesting way. I think it will be absolutely fine. I think the negative play experience, or the part that's probably not so good, is that breaking news is just not a real card that should exist in its current. And like, if it wasn't for that, I'd really, really like where the yellow decks are. I think they'd be fun and interactive and good for the game. But like, fuck breaking news.
What if breaking news was just a 3-1?
That would be fine. That's all I want. Just make it a 3-1.
Because then you can still do all the same plays. You just have to take on some more risk.
Yeah, you have to fight more for it. It doesn't become the best like trap in the game. Like it doesn't become a 2-1 agenda that just wins. Like it should be. If it was a 3-1, would be golden. But I hope Damon's listening. I hope Core 2, surely Core 2.0 is going to do something about breaking news.
How much do you think it would get played if it was a 3-1?
Probably still a fair amount.
Yeah,
because it can still do 24/7.
Well, yeah.
But it would just make you work for it. It would just make you work for it.
It would be an auto include.
Well, maybe if it was a 3-1, you could make the tags. Maybe not make the tag stick. You can make it one tag that sticks, Like you could change it a bit.
I mean, that's just a strictly better poster bounty at that point. But like, even so, poster bounty is ridiculously bad, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, so we'll see. But I'm not mad about breaking news as a card.
Isn't that the secret theme of NBN anyway? Is strictly better.
Yes.
So, Alex, when you were holding on to a paperclip in your hand, were you maybe anticipating a Arc Lockdown splash out of Jonas, or?
I was so ready for Arc Lockdown, so I was just not taking the risk. Also, I've beaten people with Biotic Kronos as well. But yeah, I don't think Arc Lockdown is a good card. I don't think it's a real card. I just don't want to lose the game to that, especially once the wall of statics come down. So I felt really good about discarding one and holding on to the other. And I was like, oh yeah, try Arc Lockdown. I'll look like such a genius. But yeah, no, I'm never ever discarding all my paperclips. I think people should just not do it for now, and almost in any situation against a random HP opponent. I think you're just taking on too much risk. The Crim players are like, finish load of paperclip, discard at end of turn. You're like, yeah, you're a genius. But in the 1 in 10 times they have Arc Lockdown, you just threw the game away for the sake of the clip. So, for now, I just don't think it's worth the risk.
Fair enough. Jonas, we were hoping we'd get to see Hellion beta test in action, but...
Did you do the maths on that?
What's that?
When I trashed the Caprice with my medium dig, I shit myself because I suddenly realized that Helium beta test might just destroy me. Did you check the maths on that? Was that not good?
I was going really fast, and I don't remember if when you were trashing Caprice, I don't think I had enough money for you right then.
Okay.
I needed to pull out of. I was kind of low on money for a while, so I needed the money back up, and by then you were already starting to medium dig and everything.
Yeah, because if you could have got off the beta test successfully and trashed Grimoire Ice Carver, the game would have just been over. So I suddenly realized as I was trashing Caprice, I was like, oh boy. But yeah, I think I can't remember what the maths on that card is. It would have still cost you a lot of credits though. So even if it did make things very hard for me,
I have to match your credits -1 basically. So
yeah,
I would have gone broke, and then you would have been able to just medium through a whole lot more. And,
that's true. I can click through and pay through. Yeah. So it's not great, but I was still beta test at the right time. Seems like it can just be backbreaking. Same with Arc Lockdown. These cards are kind of the same in that they're a little bit situational, but when they're good, they're insane.
I'll tell you what, though, Alex. I basically haven't really played a whole lot of food coats, at least in this current iteration. But I can tell you that I would have absolutely loved to have had a Foxfire over that Hellion beta test.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. The people who are some of the people who are advocating that card aren't joking. They really think it's really very good, and I'm on the fence about it. I was testing it and then I was never using it, so I switched to a Biotic, and then I'd take a note of every time I wish that Biotic was a Foxfire. And it's happens way more than you think, because Ice Carver is huge. It's the best. It's the best, better than Data Sucker and Net Ready Eyes against food codes, because just sits there and boosts everything. And then Turning Wheel, Netmerker, these are cards that are seeing play. So the Foxfire thing is it's not crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's crazy at all. I think that I would have loved to have had that over Hellion beta test. I think the Hellion beta test is probably a little bit more situational.
Yeah.
But you got to have the threat of both, I think. I think that's why the deck itself is a little bit potent, is you don't know if you're seeing Arc Lockdown, you don't know if you're seeing Biotic. Yeah. You just got a bunch of these tech cards that you're kind of not sure what you're going to see coming out of the deck.
Yeah, it's true. I think, food coats is just it's one archetype, but between the Ice Suite and your tech cards, there's so much mileage to be lost in game that finding the best food coast list is going to give you such a gigantic boost. Because you can play 2 Caprice, or you can play 1 Caprice. If you play 1, you can play a bunch of Elites and Architects. Do you run Ravanas or Magnets or Turings? And then what do you do with your 5 or so slots? 2 Biotic Labors are actually great, but ELP for Rumor Mill is good. Archive Memories is good, and extra CVS is also great. So these food coats lists are really, really going to reward you for picking the perfect cards, because you draw so much of your deck that you're going to see these cards. So the person that gets the perfect food coats list for Worlds is going to be in such a fantastic place if their deck is good, which I think it is.
Yeah, what's the chance that ETF and DLR win Worlds again? It seems like it's kind of coming back around, you know. Like we're looking at
Valencia maybe. Valencia definitely has a shot, but
yeah,
I don't know about DLR as much right now. We'll see.
yeah, we'll
If
see.
there's anybody that can make it work, Kenny will.
Yep, it's true. It's going to be good though. It's looking to be a really good meta.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I was going to ask you guys. You guys were both drawing a lot at the end of the last game. Jonas, we were kind of talking about, like, were you just trying to get an agenda, or is there something that you were looking for? Okay.
Yep.
And then
yeah,
Alex,
I knew the medium dig was coming very soon.
Yeah. Then with Alex, I guess we were wondering if you were looking for medium or net ready, but it looked like it was probably medium or maybe either one.
Mostly medium, but preferably both. Like when I fired off the I've had worse, I was like, if I just get medium net ready here, I'm in a perfect place. Net ready eyes would have been fine, but medium was ideal.
Yeah, you had
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say you had a peddler up for a long time, and we were kind of wondering if maybe you had a net ready on there waiting for like when you really needed to pull it out or something.
Yeah, sadly not. It was 2 events and a Temujin, which is okay. Like Temujin is a great thing to hit with peddler. I think maxing out on inject peddlers and I've had worses in these wizard decks is probably the right way to go. I have 1 Earthrise. My numbers were a bit funny, but I don't know. I haven't settled on anything yet. So
yeah, I was saying that you have 2 dirty laundries and 2 liberateds instead of 3 laundries. Which made me think that you thought you were going to face ETF and not CTM.
I'm certainly not expecting CTM, because I just don't. That doesn't seem to be all that big in the US right now, and I don't know Jonas all that well, but he doesn't seem like he played a ton of CTM. So
I played CTM. I played it with 59 cards, no less. I am.
If you put down 59 card CTM, I would have immediately tilted, and it wouldn't have mattered what deck I was on. But yeah, I was certainly not hedging for CTM. So I'd like to say that the 2 liberated, 2 dirty laundry is considered, but actually I'm just not really sure which one is best. So my numbers are a little bit funny. But yeah, I would also like to say that drawing a lot at the end of the game from Jonas seems like the perfect play, because I found that the perfect line, because I found that if when Wizard is kind of building up and ready to do that medium dig, if you can get the 7 points of agendas in your hand, it's so much easier to win, because all you need to do is fight for R&D while scoring. If you've got to find the agendas once the medium dig started, it's so horrendous, because you've got to build this powerful R&D and then purge and then get CBS and purge again. So especially food, if you can find food before the medium dig starts, the game is so much easier.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were saying at the end there that there was a moment where Jonas opted to purge medium counters instead of scoring I think it was a Vitruvius that was never advanced in the remote. He would have had enough credits to where it might have forced you to check HQ repeatedly if he gets to 5, because you knew he had the biotic in hand because he had archived memories for it. So yeah, I don't know. What were you thinking in that, Jonas? Like, would you?
I think that you found the play that would have been ideal there. I think that would have been a very good play right there, just scoring it out there. I don't know how many credits I was on there, but I think it was probably just enough to score another 3-2 from hand or something like that.
Yeah, you would have had exactly 6.
So I think that that would have been. That would have been a really cool play, and I'm really sorry I didn't think of that.
Well, there's 2 of us here, and we're like, I'm just saying, we're watching chat, and there's 2 of us, so it's hard to see all the angles when you're the only person. So,
yeah, I think if he ends up on 5 points with 6 credits to biotic, I probably still dig R&D quite a lot there, because it's only a click to check R&D as long as I've got my data suckers going. I mean, yeah, once Ravana gets res, it's a bit more time and effort, I guess. But the R&D dig is so good because I'm gaining more than I'm losing for it, and it's way better than the 1 in 5s. But it is true that it's probably would have been a solid play, because if there's something in this Wizard deck really lacks its meaningful HQ pressure, I know some people slot the back at, but I'm not a big fan of the card. I think I need more time. I'd really like just an impactful card that just hits HQ once, and like legwork would obviously be the perfect card. Like I just kind of want a legwork to just go, I'm going to hit HQ once for like quite a meaningful way, and then I'm going to go back to R&D again. So like you could consider Wanton, but that card's just really bad. So I don't know if there's a solution. But lack of HQ pressure will always be this Wizards deck problem, which is kind of what the MWL did, which is good. Like it forces Anik to. Anik doesn't have great HQ pressure generally, so like you have to splash other stuff. Temujin's good.
All right, so I got the tough question here. How often do the big boy and big unit do people confuse you guys online?
Every day.
Pretty much every day. It's the autocomplete. It's just people type in the big. They think that's enough. That should be.
Well, I was just gonna say specifically, I'll hear people talking about one of you, but saying things about the other one, like oh, he did this, and that, and it's like no, that's the other one.
We've probably had more decks credited to the other person than any other.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I just picture the avatars next to the names in my brain, and that makes it a bit easier, although I probably have still made the mistake a whole bunch myself.
That's a very good way to do it. Yours is Push Your Luck, obviously. And
yeah.
It's the best card. I got Turntable, which is a close second. I got over here. But I can't really recall Greg's. Greg, what's your... You gotta have a Nightmare card as an avatar, right?
No, mine's Clubber Lang, the Mr. T character from Rocky.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good too. They'll come up.
Yeah, he's a good avatar. I've actually never played Push Your Luck in my life, and I probably never will. I only set it as my avatar a long time ago because I got into a store champs cart on a literal coin flip, and then won the store champ. And that was the first tournament I ever won. So I was like, yeah.
The benefit of that is the branding. Like when I see that card now, I always think of you because I have no other context for that card.
People also say I look like the guy in it, or at least they used to. Although that's not why I chose. Yeah, but now I have a much better avatar that someone made for me. I have me as Thomas Haas, which is holding a xylophone, which is just perfect.
So are we ever?
Good option.
Are we ever going to see the vinegarymink handle again on JNet, or are you Zachary Xylophone for good?
Maybe I'll bring back vinegarymink at some point. I'm still more vinegarymink than I am Zachary Xylophone, but I'm having a bit of an identity crisis.
Are you the original Xylophone, or?
Yeah. I'm the first, and then Kenny made Steve Xylophone to troll me, and then it all went from there. Zachary Xylophone was from an old joke that we had because FFG's first iteration of their tournament software used surname as one of their tiebreakers, like one of their way further down tiebreakers. So we made jokes about how Zachary Xylophone never makes the cuts at tournaments. It's an unfortunate name.
That's pretty good.
There we are. That's the story. Anyway, it's pretty late here, so I should probably be going.
All right. Well, hey, congratulations. You're going to the finals.
I'm rooting for Dave Coleman in the next one, so we can have an all-Brit finals. That would be perfect. So
there you go.
Come on, David.
He's playing Noah, so
yeah,
should be a good match.
Both great players. Excited to face either of them.
Do you guys have any plans to stream that match at all this week?
I don't know if we'll be able to or not. I was trying to get it so that we could stream both during this stream, like back to back.
Oh wow!
But it didn't work out, and yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. It's not looking good. It's just hard to get everybody on the same. You know, we got Noah's all the way in the West Coast, Dave's UK,
yeah,
and then I'm just I got work stuff. So yeah, if we
and
can,
Dave has
we
to
will.
go to libraries to play Kentucky.net, which just makes things harder for him, which is really fun.
Right, so he can't play very late because he needs to go to the library. So
that's so funny. We had our Bring a Brit to Worlds online qualifier this last weekend, and he won it in a library. And then we're like, you can't do a winner's interview, right? He's like, no, one of these computers has Skype. Give me 10 minutes. So he walked around the library, found a computer with Skype, and did his interview.
Nice.
What a guy.
You
That's
get +1
commitment.
link if you play from a library, right?
Public terminal.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if their match happens and you can't stream it, maybe someone else should.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody is around when they're playing, go ahead. I'm not claiming ownership on any of these matches, so if anybody...
Yeah, I'm broadcasting sponsorship rights.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know, I mean, Josh did a few week 1, so maybe if he's around...
Yeah, that'd be really good.
But I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see who wins. We've got so many luxurious prizes for you guys to take home.
Fame and glory.
Maybe someday. I mean, I promised a cat, but if I have to ship it overseas, I feel like I might get in some kind of like trouble with the law or something.
I think Princess Space Kitten is the only cat I need. Although not that PSK did anything that game, but premature with the PSK. Always the way.
Did you kill the ELP or was it the other way around?
Yeah, I killed an ELP with it. That was all it did. It was a current that said this is a current on it.
All right, well, anybody want to give any shout-outs or anything before we wrap this thing up?
Shout-outs to Dice. Gone too soon. FFG, please give us our dice back.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I was already ranting about this before we started. It's like I'm bringing dice to Worlds. I don't care. Like if somebody wants to,
it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And shout outs to Kenny who gave me a little pep talk as well before the games.
I feel like if you bring dice, and as long as you're winning, you'll be fine. It's when you start to get down to the lower tables that someone's going to give you shit.
Yes. I might use X-Wing dice to track my credits because they're FFG tokens, so they can't do anything.
Well, see, my idea was I'm going to bring red and white dice, and if they tell me that I can't use dice to track my stuff, I'm going to say the red dice are 5 and the white dice are 1.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
And then I'll change the numbers just to make. I'll be like, there, it's less clear than it was before. Good job.
I'm just going to use big fistfuls of dice, and each one is a credit. I mean, what can I do? This is just a token. It just happens to be a dice, but it's also a token. And as I said on Slack, the credit tokens that come in the core set are just D2s. They're two-sided dice. They've got a 0 and a 1. So, they're banning everything, arguably. So, they should have thought about that.
Jonas, you got anything you want to?
Absolutely. I want to thank Ethan for making the best darn Nexus deck there is, or at least perfecting it. And Ethan and Rand in particular for helping me with the food coats this deck this week. I'm sorry I failed him, but it's a great deck. Definitely like it. And just DC meta in general.
All right. Abram, you still hanging around? You got any shout-outs you want to put out there?
Oh, yeah, to my illness.
Well said, man.
You need to go get.
I hope that the background coughing wasn't too.
I just was like, you need to get her some NyQuil or something, man.
No, we're heavily medicated.
Okay, good.
Over here.
Yeah, it sounds good.
I was sick on the floor at a tournament once, and I won it, and it was a regional. So illness is no excuse for not winning an arrow.
See, we have this thing, like some guys in this area that every time we do really well in a tournament, like when I won my regional and when I top 8'd at nationals, I got a headache really bad before the cut. So it's like now we say that if you start to get a headache, that's like a good sign. It's like, and you can't take anything. You can't take Advil, you can't take Tylenol because it's you need the headache. The headache is where the power comes from. So
yeah.
So I'm blaming. That's why I haven't had any good wins lately. I just my ibuprofen game's too strong right now. All right. Thank you, guys. Cool. Appreciate it as always. We'll be back next week with the finals, and if we can get Noah and Dave on stream, we definitely will do that. All right. Thanks. Take care, guys.
Thank you. Good luck, Alex.
Thank you.